So your local mortgage expert and your host of Coffee with the Superstar. My show is with real estate agents for real estate agents. I interview the best of the best in the industry so you can hear what they're doing and how they're doing it. Each week I travel to my superstar's office to invite you behind the scenes of their business. And this week I'm so excited to have Mel Parsons. Mel, thank you so much for joining me as my superstar this week.
Thanks. This is actually my first red cup of the year.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I know, and your team was like, oh, first holiday coffee.
Yeah.
Love it. So a little bit about Mel before we get started. Mel Parsons is she's of Parsons Team Seattle, and she's a midwife turned real estate team leader in Seattle. And I actually saw a podcast or something that you did that they introduced you or had you on the show as Midwife to Millionaire. And I thought that was a really great show title. So
I thought it was a great proclamation.
It is a great proclamation,
yes.
Definitely. Mel loves people and the stories that they come with. Mel's passionate about building a business with a reputation of high-level service that clients can't help but talk about it. Parsons Team Seattle is a team of agents who laugh and sometimes cry. During Mel's playtime, she can be found enjoying time with her husband and 4 children, and I'm sure that we're going to bring that in here sometime today and how you're successful running such a successful business practice with 4 kids, but we'll pick that up. Plus you have a dog. What's your dog's name?
Panchito.
I love that.
Panchito's been with us for 10 months now.
Oh my God, how exciting.
He's still a newbie.
Yeah, and what are the ages of your children?
My oldest, Jaya, is 16. Sasha's 12. Nico's 5. And this year our youngest, so there's a 13-year spread.
Yeah, that's
we like
crazy.
to say that we paced ourselves because it's pretty unique. Ben and I have been together since we were 15 and 16.
Oh my God.
And here we just spread that journey out a bit.
Yeah. I love that. So beautiful. So Mel, I always like to start out with asking what you credit your success to. How do you do everything that you do, especially being a mom and having a little one, plus a teenager and 2 in the middle? How do you do it?
This is a huge amount of my success to the support of my husband, which is interesting, right? A lot of times if there's a man who has 4 kids, we don't often ask him, how are you a dad of 4 kids and run this business?
That is so true.
Right?
Yes.
Right? But women often get asked that. Mm-hmm. So the truth is that Ben is, he really makes so much of this possible. He is at home with our 4 kids. That's his full-time job. Mm-hmm. They are in preschool, elementary, middle school, and high school this year.
Wow.
And he makes it possible for me to focus on the business as much as I can. So
I love that. And I credit my husband, same thing. Dave, we retired him. Actually, Victoria took his position and does so much more than what Dave did. But we retired him when he was 55. And I credit my success to the support of Dave. And we don't have kids. I have a stepdaughter, but not one that I raised. So I could imagine how much more you need that support in having 4 children. I love that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, because you, the same as me, and we've talked about the challenges that come up in business, and that there are opportunities when you can take away something from it. And just as you were talking about before we started the show, mistakes that lead you to your successes, right? Yeah. So what is a challenge that you personally or the team have had to overcome, and how did you overcome that, and what did you learn from that?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. The thing is, if you don't think that you can handle making mistakes and then new mistakes and more new mistakes, you probably shouldn't go into business for yourself.
Yeah, totally.
Because it is a series of of experiments.
Yes,
it really is.
Mistakes are experiments.
Yeah. And then we learn, and we're stronger, and hopefully we don't make that same mistake again.
Yes.
Right? So, what would be a mistake that, one that I did share about on Nick Baldwin's podcast was the mistake of being lured by online leads and not having any infrastructure. So that was a bit of a mistake, and maybe I danced around that mistake a couple different times in different ways.
Yeah, I think a lot of agents do.
Yeah, Yeah. I mean, doesn't it just sound lovely? Like, the idea is great, and a lot of teams, you know, and I'm not saying we do get online leads,
yes,
but thinking that this is now going to be the answer, and not really being honest with myself that my business has been mainly built on the referrals,
the connections that you've made over time.
Exactly. And the connections I've already made, the business before this business, right?
Yes.
As a midwife.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to think, well, maybe there's something else I could do
maybe that's a magic pill out
exactly
there.
Or maybe this new my administrative team will tell you that I can get really excited about, like, okay, this new program is going to be the thing.
This is
once
the thing.
we have this thing, it can be a silly, you know, I think a lot of times we're just trying to get past the work.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I think you were going to say it, a lot of agents are very successful with internet leads.
Absolutely.
A lot of agents aren't, and I think you definitely have to have the process and the system in order to work those leads very efficiently, very quickly, but I think even more than that, you have to be passionate about working that type of business.
Yes.
And I really believe that you are either a relationship building, or you don't have the time or energy or desire to build relationships. You want to just get down to and it's a whole different business practice. And so you have to decide what you want to do and then go all in at it. Relationships take longer. It's connections over time. But when you build those connections, it's a 50% conversion, maybe, versus a 3% conversion. So you have to work through a lot more, and it's a lot more tiring in that process. But I think, again, it's just where your strengths are at. If you love that, you're going to love it all in. And if not, you know, we don't work internet leads. Right. And when agents come to us with internet leads, we say, you know, we would love to work with the clients when you've built that relationship with them and they're ready to move forward. But if you're those internet leads, we're not going to be your best fit. We're just not the best one. We're not your best fit. I have agents that work, well, Susan Ward, hi Susan Ward, she was actually one of my superstars, and she is one of the biggest successes on Zillow, was interviewed by Zillow. But we don't work with any of them until she has connected that relationship, and so, you know, it's, you have to really work. And it's definitely
one of my goals to be able to grow and scale that part of business. Like, some of my biggest, like, real estate crushes are incredible with you know, online leads, but I think that it's, for me, it's so silly when I have such incredible relationships and connections already with people that I should just be with like really working with those. I mean, every weekend I can be guaranteed that at least 2 to 3 referrals will come into my phone.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Pretty awesome.
Referrals of people that want to work with you.
Yes. And so, yes, it's it was a little bit of a funny mistake, because I thought that
and I, you know, and I did too.
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
You guys, I've spent tons of money in my earlier years thinking, well, people are doing with internet leads, and, you know, I need to do that. And I spent thousands of money and thousands of dollars of investment there, but even more than that, just tons of energy that was wearing. So follow what your body is telling you. If you feel great and excited about the process, and you've got a process and system to follow, then go for it. And if not, your body's going to tell you whether that's your strength or not. And I just don't have energy for it. Right. You know, I want to know. So let's talk a little bit about marketing, Mel, because I know that to run a successful team like you do, that you have to be doing some very specific marketing things to generate and continue to foster those relationships. Yeah. So what would be a marketing tip that you would like to share with our listeners this morning?
I think one of my biggest takeaways from everybody I've been following in the conferences I've been going to this year, and that I'm really trying to live out more myself, is that the consumer, the home buyer and seller, really wants a story. They want to know, I mean, that's what interests them. And we have huge competition out there, right? So how do we stand out? And giving people something they connect with, where they can see themselves, and not removing yourself too much from it, so that you're still like, oh, this is a person. I'm gonna do a little.
Hi, Wes Jones.
Oh my gosh.
Over at KW.
Yeah, I love him. He has it dialed in.
Yeah, he's a superstar too.
He's definitely a superstar, and he's got this. Here on social media, it's very much, here I am. You get to see pictures of his beautiful family, and then you'll see his listings, and you'll see him involved in his community, and that, like, not removing yourself completely. A lot of times people think, oh, I need to have a business account over here and just do business here, and I need to have a personal account over here, and just really am trying to make steps toward bringing them back together more. Because people really, it's a people business. We just sell boxes. 100%. They just live in boxes.
Yes.
And they really want to do the process with people.
And you are so right, Mel. And I think it's always been like that, because we know the brain has the logic and the emotional side. So you want to connect to both sides of the brain. Logical helps them with facts and everything.
The numbers and the market.
And all of that, and that's important.
Yeah.
But it's the emotional side and the story where they're actually going to take action. Embracing story because of the technology, people need so much more. How are we going to connect with the technology? And I love how you said it's really important that they know you. So think about your story and how you can very efficiently, I always say a scripted message, with anything that you say with confidence is scripted. I'm not talking about using someone else's words. I'm not talking about sounding scripted. I'm talking about delivering a powerful message. And a scripted message is a message that's confident, powerful, and to the point. So how can you deliver your message in the most powerful way with the least amount of words to share your story, and then find out what their why is to buying a home, and be able to connect them to their story of the service that you're going to be able to provide from them. Once you can connect those dots, it's an end game for you.
Right. And for, figuring out what it's okay. And my coach, Kelly Tadlock, if she's watching, will be so proud of me, saying it's okay to constrain and focus. When you're marketing, figuring out who you're marketing to, then you don't have to try to get everybody. I'm always wooed by the idea of, like, oh yeah, baby boomers, that's going to be a huge market soon. I need to work on that. Okay, but really, when I'm honest with myself, who is my niche, and who have I really built out that I serve? Well, it's the upgrade buyer seller. It's all those people that I helped deliver their babies that are now needing a bigger space. So they feel completely stuck. They're established in their neighborhood. They're established in their sports. They know their commute, but they don't fit in their house anymore. And so how do we help them? That's what I've dialed in.
People say targeted market. I like to say perfect market. Who is your perfect market?
It's good.
People that are like you, most likely like you, people that you've helped. Why continue going out to search for the masses? Instead, you have everything right there that you can focus on, and people are most likely to want to work with you. And I think that's critically important, no matter where you're at in business. If you're starting and have no business at all, or you're a seasoned agent. And starting with no business is the that you have built relationships with. And I'm sure, as being a midwife, you would be the perfect realtor for them, helping them in that special time in life. So think of the people that already love you and want to support what you're doing, and
and it's really the only way you can master anything is if you keep doing the same thing again and again. You're touching the same people over and over again, so that you can build those and foster those relationships. So many people, and I don't think just in mortgage and in real estate, but I think this is probably like this, and almost constantly chasing for the new business. It's not about the new business. It's about fostering your old business, people that you've already worked with and already built those relationships with. Would you agree, Mel? Yeah, but it's so easy to fall into that.
Thinking that why, and it is so easy, and it doesn't make any sense because they don't know who you are, and so it's okay, and to continue, when I say working with your existing clients and people you've worked with, through that, that's who you want to be asking for the new business, because we always are working with new people.
Right.
We're not just working with the same old people, but it's where do those business coming from? I call it my circle. I've worked really hard to build a circle of people that trust me, respect me, and want to support my business. Those are the people that I'm working in to continue to grow the new people, to invite them into our circle. Yes.
Yeah, I have a coach. You can tell, you'll hear a lot about coaching.
Critically.
I said I attribute my success to Ben, my husband, and I have hired a lot of coaches.
You went through my coaching program.
Yes.
The one time your business 8-week burn, Victoria, this Wednesday.
Yeah. I mean, this is like how to get your life back, that class.
Yeah, thank you.
So I have a coach, and he calls those people his advocates.
Yes.
And they're labeled in his database
true.
as his advocates.
And
I
love that.
I love it too.
Yeah.
He keeps it at a list of 200. And he said, it's like people do with their friends list. He's like, I'm changing it. It changes. It's always,
of course,
he moves around once a quarter. But,
you always want to get your newest people that you've worked with. You always want to make sure that and you have to have a limit. I love that. I call it a burn. Then they go to A, B, or C, or D. D is delete, by the way. It's okay to delete somebody if you want to.
That's what D is for. Delete.
Yeah, that's what D is for.
Okay.
Very few people would you ever delete, but sometimes you just feel like deleting somebody, and that's okay.
Oh yeah, it's all right.
A is 50. B, I do 250.
Okay.
But 200 to 400, depending on what you feel that you can do, that you're able to touch them, not just in an email or a mail, but touch them on a quarterly basis. Yeah. And then C is everything else. There's no limit to what your C is. Right. But when you hit your limit for your Bs, what you want to be doing is you always want your new people to come into that B category at least.
Okay.
So you can see how well they're going to have the capability to refer. So what we'll do when we hit our list, we just go to the last recent transaction and they get moved to C. I mean, there's no thought process in it at all. If we have not connected and done anything with them, they just automate, because that's what a system is, right? You don't have to put any thought into it. They just move into C. Now, if a C pulls out and does something, guess what? They pop right into the B. So who goes out if you're full? Again, the most recent one out. So the new ones always come in. The furthest ones back that haven't done anything, they push into the C. So there's no thought process.
It might be time for me to 3 years ago now.
Yeah, it has been. And I one-time it, so it's always getting better as we go along, right? Yeah. So what else did you, I just got my hot flash.
Oh, good.
Usually Victoria throws a fan over here.
Yes. She's on it.
She's on it.
She's on it.
If you can see the little balls there. When you're in front of Facebook Live, it adds some excitement.
This is your
for you
real, real element.
And the lights that she has over here.
And now you just look like a supermodel.
Oh, good. Supermodel, superstars, that's what we are. So, Mel, what else did you because that's exciting to go, and who did you take away stuff?
Yeah,
people that were the best of the best?
Yeah. So I actually, I try to go to at least 3 conferences a year. That is tricky on my family, and so I space that out. Some of the best takeaways really are the most simple, basic things, which are just love on those in your business. Which I haven't really got a chance to brag about my team, but I just love them. And I personally did not sell 60 homes this year. It is the agents on my team, and
But you did like 27 so far year to date.
Thanks for tracking. Yeah. And really, most of the agents that come to my team come totally green, and we train them. And
I love that.
And then get them into production, and it's super fun for me. It's like total mom mode.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
So what would you, because that's a real challenge. Some people, very few people can actually consistently be able to bring new people in and to bring them up to where they're doing great business. And so what would you have for a tip of somebody that wants to bring a new agent in, and how are you able to help them to be successful?
Yeah. I think that you have to be prepared. They have to be prepared, and you have to be prepared for a lot of shadowing and mentoring. Yes. One of the things that I want to say is not allowed is when our agents will apologize before they ask a question.
Yes.
Stop apologizing.
Say that all the time.
How would you know the answer to this?
Yes.
Right? Until you do it. Yes, there is, as a team leader, there's definitely a lot of extra time involved. But for the right people that are, they're our kind of people, it's absolutely worth it.
Yes.
And to reach the kind of goals I have and to help the number of, clients that I want to help, I can't do that all by myself.
Absolutely not.
And so spreading out with other agents on the team and administrative staff is the way we do it.
It's critically important. There's no as a solo entrepreneur.
Right.
Now, if you do volume, that makes it as if you are a leader in the industry. You have no quality of life. It is impossible to have a quality of life and be a leader. So either you're not doing business enough to support you and your family, or you are doing business and you look like a superstar, but you don't have quality of life. And to me, it's not worth it to be a superstar and not have a superstar life as well, right?
Yeah.
And you have to have a team. I interviewed Gordy Marks once for my Coffee with a Superstar, and he said something.
Facebook Live.
Love Facebook Live. He said something that I love, and I was less than a year in the industry, and my branch manager said, you can't have an assistant. You don't have enough business. And I said, I have to have it. I'll pay for the assistant. And there was a big concern because of had to pay for insurance and all of that. And I said, I understand you're going to have to make an investment, but trust me, if I'm willing to make the investment, you make a little bit more money than me as a company, right?
Right.
I need you to do this for me, because if I don't get an assistant, I'm never going to make it. And so, the best thing ever. So, Mel, for real estate agents that are listening today, whether they're starting in the industry or they're a seasoned agent and they just want to be a tip or a suggestion that you would have for them.
Well, I don't know if this is what you're looking for, but it is the thing I feel the strongest about, and that would be mindset. Your business can only grow to the extent you're willing to grow.
Yeah.
I came into this business on food stamps, watching my friends' kids for $15 an hour.
Yeah.
It was a real low in a lot of ways. I'm scrappy, we'll see how this goes. But I had to get through the stories I was telling myself about myself.
Yeah.
What if people find out that my kids are on state insurance, but I want to sell their $1 million home?
Yes.
What will happen? Well, what will happen? I'm going to give them incredible service.
Yes.
I'm actually, the resourcefulness that has my kids on state insurance right now is what's going to help me find them a great buyer for their house, right? So the work I have done is really what I believe has brought me to the next level.
100%.
That is not an app I can tell you to get on your phone.
Yeah.
That's not a system you can implement into your business, but it is the number one factor that has taken me each time I've decided to level up.
Yeah.
So last year, I'm 4 years in the business now, right? So last year.
I want you to listen to that. She's 4 years into the business, and she's an industry leader and running a team. Finish what you were going to
just that 4 years into the business, and every time I set my sights on something new, who I show up as to get to that goal is the most critical factor.
Yeah. And 100%, I know you started out with, this is not what I'm sure that you want me to share or what you're looking for. It is exactly what I'm looking for now, because that is the most important tip that she can share with you. Your mindset is everything. Nothing else matters. And I believe that where you come from, the harder that is, the scrappier you are and the harder you'll fight. And, I will say it was 15 plus years into my business before, and actually less than that, 7 years before I really opened up. And I'll say it here on Facebook Live. I was married to, my first husband was in prison for 5 years and died of a drug overdose. And to say anything of where my life came from was a complete secret, because I was afraid I was afraid that the people that already supported my business for years, I was already an industry leader. I was already a superstar in my own right. Crazy.
I love that. I love that. It was a year ago that I was like, I think I'm going to share on Facebook that it was just a few years ago that I got our Christmas gifts as gifts to us to give to our kids. And here I got to take my kids with a shopping cart and $500 last year and say, put everything in and we're going to go get it. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And if I kept that to myself,
yeah.
if people they don't get that gift of knowing what, you know,
and they
what
don't
it's
get
been.
the inspiration that you have to be able to share that. The old saying is, you know, if Mel can do it, I can do it. And it's so
I do love
much,
that. If anyone can do it, then I can.
If you've come from that background, that they're like, wow, I didn't have any tragedies like that.
Yeah.
If she can do it, I can do it. And so as we're wrapping up our time here today, because I think that's the most important thing that we had in conversation and tip that you can give. You really have to focus on your mind shift. And there's no system, like Mel said, that you can do, but you can build a habit or a process that you do on your own. Really think about how you start your day every morning. As soon as you get out of bed, it's the most important time of your day. The second most important time of your day are as important before you go to bed, right before you put your head on your pillow. Yeah. What are those activities that you're doing? Make sure that your mindset and building that up as far as affirmations and things that you're really finding out what works for you. Again, I want to give a shout out to my course, onetimeyourbusiness.com. We actually talk about mindset and the importance of that. And feel free to reach out to Mel or I if you want to have a conversation in more detail, because I think either one of us would love to have that conversation with you.
Yeah, I'm honored to talk with people. We have a practice of gratitude. Our team meetings and our morning huddles start with gratitude, and everybody expresses gratitude. We're gonna stick with that, even if we have to pick with oxygen. Yeah. We do. We are, we have a couple spots open on our team that we are adding agents into. You'll see us growing in that way in 2020. I personally am continuing to, I also have this internal thing where I have this insatiable longing for more at all times. I need to
that's what
raise.
We're supposed to. We're supposed to get better every single day.
Okay, because I can't shake it. It's not changing.
Yeah.
So raising my own price point that I work with, continuing to do that. You'll see us putting out some of the best events around Seattle. We are having a lot of fun with our events. We have photos with Santa coming up December 7th. And we just have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
Real estate can be stressful, right?
Yes.
So we like to party.
Yeah.
And have fun
well,
with
in the
people.
work in the work and play, which is right in your bio. And as we're wrapping up our time here, critically important. If you want to build relationships, it's not around building relationships around business. It's around building relationships around fun.
Yeah.
Get out there, create those moments to where you can have fun with your clients and your business partners, and not only see your business explode, but just as you said, it's a lot more fun that way.
Have fun doing it.
Have fun doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Victoria's wrapping our time. Victoria just did a limo trip for our business partners to Buckley for a haunted house, and so we like to play too.
Yes,
it's really important.
It's huge.
It's huge. Yeah. Mel, thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, and thank you to you for listening to the show. Again, I've created this show for you. I want to showcase our superstar, but as important as I want to provide a platform to where you can learn from the best of the best and what they're doing. So please join us for our next superstar. It's always on Mondays from 11 to 11:30, and make it a fantastic day.
Thank you.